Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
If I unmute the microphone, good morning, people.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. It's given everything that's happening, I still have to say it's a good morning, James, because I was not, honest to goodness, I was not absolutely sure we were going to get justice in the Derek Chauvin trial yesterday, but here we are, guilty on all 4 counts. Was it 3 counts? Whatever many counts.
Yeah, 3 counts.
He's
yep.
guilty on all 3 counts. So, man, I just, I'm leery to celebrate because even in the backdrop, there was another police shooting of a 15-year-old girl. We're going to talk about her momentarily. But still, it feels like, I don't know. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm happy that, everything happened like it did. The verdict came down right. They got it right. Now it's just time to do the work, continue doing the work. I feel this shows that the justice system can work, but I also feel like this happened just because, people can save face, if you feel what I'm saying. They didn't want to risk America for the wrong verdict.
And that's exactly what was going on. Like, to be honest with you, that's the level that's where we were. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Like, if they could not have found themselves to find Derek Chauvin with 24 different angles, 24 different angles of us seeing this man murder George Floyd, if this country could not have seen fit to give us that modicum of justice. And as I said yesterday several times, it takes so much to get so little in this country. It takes so much energy and so many fights for us to get just the smallest example of justice. But here we are. Derek Chauvin is guilty on all 3 counts. I want us to take a look at this first clip. This is the reading of the verdict, and particularly it's him getting handcuffed, which was the highlight of yesterday's episode. Let's take a look.
State of Minnesota, County of Hennepin, District Court, 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, Defendant. Verdict, Count 1. Court File Number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, Juror Foreperson, Juror Number 19. Same caption, verdict, Count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by Jury Foreperson, Juror Number 19. Same caption, verdict, Count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury Foreperson 019. Members of the jury, I find that the verdicts as read reflect the will of the jury and will be filed accordingly. Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff. Anything further? All right. Thank you.
Here he goes. And this was the part I was looking forward to the most. Them arresting him, putting him in handcuffs rather, and escorting him away. We have 8 days, I believe, until sentencing. But still, between now and then, he has been remanded to the custody of Hennepin County Jail. This is what we needed, man.
Yeah, and it's 8 weeks.
8 weeks, okay.
8 weeks. They go for sentencing. Yeah. So
here's one last
thing. It felt
thing.
good to see it, bro.
That was an important scene to see, and that's what we want to see on repeat over and over and over and over again. And police officers need to see that on repeat over and over and over again, because here's the thing: he's only the 7th police officer to have been found guilty, convicted of murder since 2005. Now, out of around 15,000 police killings during that same time frame, he is the seventh. I got to repeat that. Seventh police officer to be convicted since 2005. And in that same period, 15,000 police killings took place. Now, I want us to take a listen into George Floyd's brother, Philonise Floyd, as he responded to Derek Chauvin being found guilty.
Yes, you have been here throughout the trial. You have been in the court, which very few people have been in. What was it like for you today? Because you have seen so much in court, all of the bad things that happened to your brother. What was it like hearing from the jury today?
It was a bit of relief. I actually paced back and forth before I even went into the courtroom. I have faith. I believe in God. So I was optimistic, and I kept saying, we will get justice. We will get it. And just sitting in there, just listening to those words, guilty and guilty and guilty on all counts, that was a moment that I will never be able to relive. I will always have it inside of me. It's just being able to know that it's justice for African American people, just people of color, period, in this world. This is monumental. This is historic. This is a pivotal moment in history. And all I can think about is Emmett Till. I think about Sandra Bland. I think about Miss Carr with Eric Garner. It's so many people. We have new people being killed. Dante Wright. I think about Jacob Blake. I think about Philando Castile. All of these people, they're all dead. You got people that live near me. Pamela Turner, she's dead. And we all need justice. We're all fighting for one reason, and it's justice for all. And I think today has been an occasion where people can celebrate. But tomorrow, it's back to business, because we have to stay steps ahead of everything, and we'll keep pushing, and we'll keep pushing, and like Reverend Al say, we'll keep fighting.
We'll keep fighting. The fight continues today. Rebecca Azor, James, Rebecca, what was your reaction to yesterday? I know we were trying to get on a live, but I know that you were watching still. What was your reaction? Mm-hmm.
I know she was about to say something prolific too.
Yeah.
Here we go. I apologize,
there we
you
go,
guys.
sister.
So yesterday, I definitely felt a sense of, for 5 minutes, a sense of, okay,
Yeah.
we're capable of holding people accountable. We're capable of accountability. Thank you, God. Because we didn't know. We were unsure. And it's crazy. Black people shouldn't have to feel unsure. I'm in the workplace. We all, people who were working, we know we're sitting in the workplace and we're like, listen, I'm going to take this time to be glued to the TV. I'm still going to be logged into the system, but I ain't taking no calls right now. Let me focus on what's happening right now, because I have anxiety, right? But we all were feeling like, dang, it's crazy how we knew that he deserved the guilty, right? But we didn't know if he was going to get it, right? Yeah. And even though everything was on paper, even though we saw this trial be dragged out, even though we saw this thing, everything was on video, we had to go through all of this and we didn't know if he would end up guilty or not. But I felt a sense of peace for about, that quick, but I needed to remind myself and make sure I don't condition myself to think that this is justice. Right. Because there were other police officers on the scene. I think they all should have been charged in some way, shape, or form. But we're here and holding one accountable, as we have been saying for the past few weeks, that we need to keep this stuff going, because what this does is hold them accountable and get the other officers shook, so that they know that they too are capable of going to jail for life, potentially, for the murders that they do. Because it cannot be, I may get off of this. It's a likely chance that I'm going to get off of this. But I had to make sure that I don't condition myself to think that just because this happened, police officers are going to stop. The numbers don't match. So,
Right.
but we holding them accountable. Yes, I definitely say that this was a moment that shows us something can be done. We can hold them accountable at least.
Yeah. No, I love that framing. And yesterday, President Biden and Vice President Harris both addressed the nation last night as well, saying in part, quote, "We are all a part of George Floyd's legacy, and our job now is to honor it." Let's take a look at some of what Vice President Kamala Harris had to say.
America has a long history of systemic racism. Black Americans, and Black men in particular, have been treated throughout the course of our history as less than human. Black men are fathers and brothers and sons and uncles and grandfathers and friends and neighbors. Their lives must be valued in our education system, in our healthcare system, in our housing system, in our economic system, in our criminal justice system, in our nation. Full stop. Because of smartphones, so many Americans have now seen the racial injustice that Black Americans have known for generations. The racial injustice that we have fought for generations, that my parents protested in the 1960s, that millions of us, Americans of every race, protested last summer. Here's the truth about racial injustice. It is not just a Black America problem or a people of color problem. It is a problem for every American. It is keeping us from fulfilling the promise of liberty and justice for all. And it is holding our nation back from realizing our full potential. We are all a part of George Floyd's legacy, and our job now is to honor it and to honor him. Thank you.
President Biden had something to say, and we'll get to his clip in a second. But what is your response? It was a good statement. It was a good statement. What were your thoughts, Rebecca and James?
Go ahead, James.
You know what we always say. I'm just glad to see that she's speaking. I want her to speak up more on other stuff besides the police killings. I do want her to be out there more, and I'm hoping that she's doing more work behind the scenes. But I'm glad that she made that statement. It shows that she does care. But we just need a little bit more, Kamala, Vice President Harris. That's all.
Yeah, because if she's shooting to be president, wrong word. If she's trying to be president, and definitely we need to see more of her. But actually, James, I think in this moment, I really believe that I want to see her speaking more on the policing. I mean, how people are being killed by police officers, especially because she was one. So I want to see her speaking more on it and to gain the trust of the people, especially as a person.
Rebecca, you ain't no good.
You're right.
I'm trying to hold my composure here, but you slid that in there go ahead, finish up. I'm sorry.
But especially as a person of color, sis, we haven't seen you in decades. January to now, what are we in? We're in May. We can just say we're in May now. And, George Floyd, this has been a year. We're coming up on a year. It's like, ma'am, sis, girlfriend, where have you been? And this is a perfect time to show people, if you want to right your wrongs, because we're wrong a lot of times in what you did. But in this particular moment, as a person of color and knowing what's going on and knowing you have this position, all you had to use was this. All you had to come out and, and speak, to say something.
So sooner, she should have came. She should have. You felt like she should have came out sooner.
She should have came out sooner, but I think that excuse me. I think that in this particular time and in this particular moment, Biden made sure that he put her to speak first. Because she is a person of color, and it wouldn't be well received by him first. And Kamala, we haven't seen you, so you're a person of color. This fits it. Go ahead and speak. Talk your talk. And what she's saying is something that a politician has said many times before. The person that died, we remember Obama. Trayvon Martin could have been my son. Trayvon Martin could have been me. So it's one of those things, and not to say that it's not true, but they had to pull from those relatable places and those sensible places. But I'm looking for somebody to say, hey, let's start for reform. Let's start change, because, this ain't it. This is not it. We do not want to see another. I want somebody to really speak on it from the heart and not from that place of, I'm a politician and I got to be relatable.
I think, wow, you guys are putting me in an awkward position to kind of low key defend Kamala, which is something I absolutely normally won't do. I feel like this is probably the best statement that we could have expected from somebody who actually is in that position. See, the thing is like, they're not there to serve us, right? Just like the police are not there to serve us. Right. Obama and Trump certainly, but even Biden, they're not technically there to serve us in terms of what they're doing. Should they be serving the people? Yes, because they're there with the consent of the governed. But they're there to protect the system. Kamala is there to, and this is why they could talk more after the fact than during the trial, because during the trial, they are part of the same exact system that's trying to get the trial accomplished and to whatever end. So I guess I would never have expected any politician to come out and say something remotely meaningful about George Floyd during the trial, because they are part of that same exact system. So I don't think that your statement is really defending her, though. I just think that it points out another issue, like the fact that these politicians are a part of this same system as well. So that's another thing. That's another issue in itself. So. Yeah, I mean, you ain't defending. I must say, please don't put me on the spot for. I mean, not that but you're right about one thing. Yeah. You're right about a couple things, but the biggest thing was, Kamala went first, right? Yeah, and I think that was a smart move, because we didn't really want to hear from Joe Biden about this, because if anybody
due process is what Joe Biden would have.
That's what he said.
We don't want to hear that, and he knew he was wrong. So Kamala, come on, black girl, come on, woman,
fix it up. Come on, sister.
come on, sister. History in the police department. Come on, pull up.
I do hope it means something, though. Remember during the inauguration, you could say a lot about Joe Biden, but during the inauguration, he actually said that white supremacy was the biggest threat to this country. Now, and I'm going to be honest with you now, from that perspective, from the perspective of the office of the presidency and the office of the vice president, I think it means something for Joe Biden to have said white supremacy is the biggest threat to this country, and for that to be recorded in the history of this country, right? And then for Kamala, I heard her say a couple things that I don't think I've ever heard a vice president say. I don't think I've ever heard a vice president say that black men lives matter. You know what I mean?
That's a big deal.
I don't think I've ever heard a single person in the history of this country of that office, of that magnitude, say something about black men, black families, black fathers actually mattering. So, from that perspective, when you consider what America is, it means something to have that office actually say it. Now, what means even more, Rebecca, what you were saying, now y'all got to be about it. Now we need to actually start changing some of that stuff.
And it's crazy, because we've been saying that once you're in office, you got to be about it. And I did expect more from Kamala, but you know what? We ain't even a year in, even though to me so this is a long, it's going to May, but if this is the moment she comes out, if this is where she steps out, and reveals her true motives as vice president, and whether that is being president or whatever. But I just want somebody real.
Want somebody fighting for us.
We've had the politicians, we've had the people, who had to speak and act in white supremacy. We had to in that time, but now it's like we've already been through that. And and not because you're a woman, I don't want to put that pressure on you, but because you have this position and this you can do a lot with. I mean, your words, just like you were saying, Ben, the fact that Joe Biden said that white supremacy is the biggest threat, that's going to be in the history books forever. And to hear a president say that is a big deal. So when Vice President actually said Black men are dying, come on, that's a problem. That's a big deal too. So imagine the more that you keep speaking out about it, that you keep highlighting it as a person in power in this position. It's different. We will never forget it. We will always remember that this person was always on the right side of things, even when it was something that was rare, even when it was something that you weren't supposed to do. You're not supposed to be Black and a woman as vice president.
Well, let me say, you've recruited me. I'm closer to your side now because, to be honest with you, you're right. We need somebody in there fighting actively on our behalf. Like, get ahead of it. Maybe something they could say will stop the next killing, even though it didn't even stop the killing that took place immediately after this. Like, we did not get 30 minutes good to celebrate the conviction of Derek Chauvin before police killed in Columbus, Ohio. Police killed 15-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant. Now, as details are coming out about this, Makhia is reportedly the one who called police because she was under attack. And by the time the police got there, she was on the offensive and she had gotten a knife. You could see it in the body cam video. We're not going to play it because of the graphic nature of it. Yeah. But you could see this was a child who was fighting for her life. She called the police. And by the time the police got there, they ended up killing her.
Benjamin Dixon, James Bubba Williams, if I'm so frustrated, and let me tell you why. And it was happening as we were about to celebrate or be calm from when we heard the guilty verdict, right? The rhetoric that's going on online. Many people from that video are saying, what was the cop supposed to do? Here, and hear me out on this as I walk y'all through how I feel about that. What was the cop supposed to do if that little girl, she's a little girl, she's 15 years old, called the cops because she wanted to feel protected on her property that people came to, right? She has a knife in her hand to protect herself against getting jumped, which potentially could have killed her. It could have been something where she got hit on concrete. They could have jumped her. They could have gave her concussion. They could have did whatever. Okay? So she pulled out a knife because she's on her property. And as soon as the cops came, jumps out the car, not even 30 seconds, within 30 seconds, shoots her in the chest 4 times. As if she's a dog, like the lady said, a dog on the streets, a child. And what everybody is saying, because the video that put out, because what they do is very systemic as well. They put out the video knowing that she's holding a knife in her hand. You think that she sees police officers pull up? Knowing that she's holding a knife in her hand, they wanted to make sure they showed it at that angle so that we can see and look at her as somebody who was suspicious, somebody who was about to kill somebody, not as somebody who was about to defend themselves on their own property against trespassers. Yeah. Now, listen to me clearly. The fact that people are online and playing right into that rhetoric, right into that narrative and saying, we have to understand. I had to retweet one girl. We have to understand when we're wrong, guys. And it's Black trauma that makes us look at videos like this and say that that she didn't deserve to die.
That was a comment?
That was the comment. And I said, but that wasn't the only comment that I seen in that way. There were so many other ones that are saying we as Black people are wrong when we watch this video and we say that that little girl wasn't dangerous. When I'm at my home, so now let's say
She
this
had a
girl
right
was
to defend herself.
Say this girl was a 25-year-old.
Defend herself.
Yes, say she was a 25-year-old woman. Say she was me in my own home, and somebody was trespassing in my home, and I'm a licensed gun carrier, and I go pull my gun out and I shoot the person. You know, but I called the police officer because I needed them to come because I didn't feel safe. But this person continued to try to attack me, and I pulled out, instead of a knife, I pulled out a gun and shot that person. Does it sound better to you then? And everybody's gonna be like, well, she was defending herself. That is exactly what was happening in the situation. She didn't have no gun. She didn't have nothing like that. She had a knife, something from the house. And here's my thing. And she was defending herself. Here's my thing though. If she would have stabbed the girl or whatever, say potentially that girl maybe would have been hurt, whatever the case may be. Somebody could have possibly been alive, but a bullet most likely will kill you. And 4 times, she was shot in her chest because her life didn't matter in that moment. They didn't even try to assess the situation. I know people are saying, there wasn't no time to assess the situation. There was a knife. Da, 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 da. You ever hear people say, don't bring a knife to a gunfight? Right? Because one is worse than the other. Am I right or am I wrong? Secondly, let's never forget that officers take knife-wielding people, white people, they take white murderers to Burger King. They take white murderers to Burger King, right? And if this girl would have did something as possibly stabbed, she would have had to pay the price or maybe go to jail or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Right. But don't forget, when white folks do their duties or do whatever, they get taken to Burger King, right? And this girl, they didn't even give her an opportunity to not to live, to do nothing, to be wrong, nothing. They shut her down on her own property for defending herself. So excuse me if I'm passionate about a little girl getting shot, getting murdered in cold blood. Because when they pulled up, what they saw was a grown woman. Right. Was a grown woman, and they didn't care which one of them called. Of all, they're shooting. Not assessing the situation. And then my last point before I end it. Officers are trained, okay? They are trained. Literally, when you sign up to be a cop, when you sign up to be an officer, the first thing is not to take your gun out and shoot. Now, yes, it's systemic. White folks get away with it. White cops get away with it all the time. Black cops get away with it all the time because they all think the same. But when you sign up to be a cop, you sign up to de-escalate, and your de-escalation may be jumping on the girl's back, pulling her by the legs, possibly getting, hurt by the knife or whatever. You sign up for that because there are more ways. Pull out the taser, get close to her, pull out the taser. There are more ways than pulling out your gun and shooting somebody dead. That is not the only way to de-escalate a situation. Because you guys cannot tell me that there was no other option for this cop, because I've watched them on videotape do so much, men running up to them with knives, and they have de-escalated situations. They're trained to do that. So forgive me for being a little passionate about this, but I will not stand for that rhetoric. That was a child. A child who wanted to live, who didn't want to get beat up in her home, who wanted to feel safe.
So that's the thing, man. Like, people see the knife and then they end the story, and they're like, "Oh, well, nope, there it is. She should have got that. She should have got shot." And they have no desire whatsoever to put it in context, like you just did, Rebecca. But here is and forgive me, I said 16, I said 15, but she's 16. Here's a 16-year-old girl fighting for her life, and she's the one who gets killed by police, the very people she called for help. I think you said it at the very beginning of what you were saying, Rebecca. It is, people are so conditioned to Black trauma that they buy any excuse given to them by the police, right? Anything. Like, there were so many other options at that cop's disposal besides shooting her 4 times. He didn't mistake it for a taser that time, right? They made the mistake. They always seem to make the mistake in the wrong direction. Make a mistake in the right direction where you could have preserved someone's life. And you're so right. I have seen so many encounters of, especially a woman. We'll say white man. Like I've seen white men come at cops with knives, and they give him all the benefit of the doubt, and they all of a sudden they remember their training. All of a sudden they doing some jujitsu and some shit. You know what I mean? But they, like all of a sudden they are ready to take it man to man. But let it be a black child, a girl, and they just unloading her. But let it have been a white woman. Mm-hmm. Do you think for a second, had this been a white girl, that they would have solved this situation by shooting her 4 times in the back? Absolutely the hell not. And that's the disparity. That's the difference. They would have done everything in their power to preserve the life of a white girl. But what do? In the same exact scenario, they would have protected that white girl's life with their own. But what do? It's a black girl. 4 times. Shot her. Killing her.
And y'all are right, because just like you said, if that was a white girl, wouldn't have happened. They would have done everything in their power not to shoot her. They probably would have let her stab the other person.
Yes.
Instead of shooting them. And still would have de-escalated like that.
They would have questioned what is going on that has this little white girl responding like this. She must be in danger. But they don't interpret black lives like that. They're like, oh no, this is the danger that has to be taken down. That's the benefit of the doubt that we don't get in this country. We are not given the benefit of the doubt of our humanity for someone to look at our situation and say for a couple of seconds, what is going on? The very first thing they do is shoot us.
Yeah. And that's what people need to understand. I don't know why we go so hard when, say we have to see it from the perspective of us, right? And that's basically, knees on the neck, getting shot in the back, just things like that. But when we're defending ourselves, and because there's a weapon, and because that perspective and that works for the narrative of the police officers and everybody else, because when I was reading through the comments, I was like, everybody was like, yeah, she had that knife, shoot her dead. She had that knife, shoot her dead. But did y'all forget that she was defending herself? Defending myself, calling the cops. I called the cops, and I'm defending myself as I wait for the cops to come. Now these people are trying to fight me. I don't even know the cops pull up. I'm protecting myself in this moment. And rather than the cops coming to separate and, they shoot me dead. They didn't even know which one. They didn't care which one.
They did not care.
Didn't care. And so they were saying, well, look, she had a knife and it was no time to assess the situation. So, okay, she's on her property. She wants to be safe. So literally, she's not worried about the safety of the other woman. She's worried about her own safety. So what are y'all talking about? Well, she was going to kill that girl. The girls came to hurt her. They came to hurt her. Like, what are y'all not getting? She did not deserve to die like that. She didn't. And if she would have stabbed the girl, maybe she would have went to jail. So, she didn't deserve to die. Like, her life didn't matter. And
but she had a knife, Rebecca. She had a knife. So that's everything is everything, Yeah. Right. Never mind, these guys have AR-15s and they come out of it alive.
They get fed. They get Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
They can come out with a whole cache of guns, like come out here looking like Neo in the Matrix, open up and they get taken alive. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's take a quick break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna cover more of the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict. We have more video of Maxine Waters standing her ground, but more like it or not after this.
Good morning again, everyone. Make sure that y'all are hitting that like button, comment, subscribe, share, y'all, so you know what Like It or Not is going down. We're going to go ahead and get these patrons read off because we have a lot of new patrons that we need to share with y'all. So here we go, y'all. Let's get to it.
I get nervous.
All right. Our new patrons for the day. New patrons, y'all. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, mama. Good morning, sensation. I see y'all. New patrons. We have Sandy S., Jennifer G., Patrick S., Larkspur M., Brian W., Delilah F., Laura E., Melanie D., April T., Rachel L., right, Tiffany H. Our new Twitch subscribers, we have Tehran Hero, Rafi Shore, who subscribed with Prime. Thank you, Rafi. We have J Joy 420 subscribed with Prime. Thank you, J Joy 420. K Rose 0703 subscribed for 2 months in advance. Shout out to you, K Rose. Andy, our girl Andy from Ohio, subscribed for 6 months and gifted 5 subscriptions. So thank you so much, Andy. And last we have Sis Cat, who subscribed for 7 months and also a Patreon patron. So thank y'all so much, man. We had a whole lot for you guys, so we greatly appreciate that. Y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe, and also make sure that if you want to become a patron, that you can. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Make sure that y'all get y'all asses in there and get joined up so y'all can give me and Rebecca free. Give us free.
Free.
Give us free. Oh, and also Andy is a patron as well, too.
Oh, man. Welcome back. James, you sound like the host of a $30,000 square. You sound like a game show host in there, man.
I was feeling it all. I said, hey, give us voice. Like, you only been here 2 days. But you give us voice.
I love it. You know what I keep forgetting to tell the people is that you can support the show by going to on Twitch by donating your Amazon subscription. If you have Amazon Prime, you can support the show without having to spend any additional money. You just go and gift us your Prime membership, and we get $5 from Jeff Bezos. So that's one way that you can support the show without
really
having to spend any money.
That's really good.
I might as well do that too.
Look, Rebecca, me too. I got don't have like 2 or 3 Prime memberships.
Yeah, is it additional 5 on top of the $12.99, or is it deducted from that number?
It's deducted from it. It doesn't cost you a single dime out of your pocket.
Man.
Yeah. So go tell everybody.
We taking the money out of our own pocket, Rebecca. Look.
Hell no, because we ain't got no money to be taking. So if it's like already taken now, might as well just take it and put it over here.
Right.
Like I was gonna say, because if this was like Netflix, I don't think I would have too many people to recommend because they all use my passwords. But I don't think you could do that on Amazon Prime. So everybody has an Amazon Prime membership. You can. Well, then there you go. So. But support the show. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot, or you can go to any of the channels, and we'll get it that way. Appreciate you bringing us out of that first segment, man. That thing was heavy.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, it was
heavy. Not as heavy as the kente cloth that that lady wore.
Rebecca be going for edges. Oh,
what you do? I love it.
I got nothing.
Not as heavy as the kente cloth Nancy Pelosi wore.
Taking a knee and
it's just, ugh. I have a problem with her. I do. I just. And the reason, I know the kente cloth was, years ago, but it's her commentary that she makes on these Black lives situations, these social justice situations, and Sis, you just gotta sit some things out. I don't know why they see. You see, Biden knew that he had to have Kamala come to the mic.
Kamala. Let me say that lady's name right.
I knew
Oh man.
that for Nancy Pelosi, when I saw the mic and I heard that she was gonna speak on the George Floyd situation.
We got the footage, by the way.
Please, well, since I'm sorry for bringing it here, but bring it here. I really just want to play what she said.
Yeah, because everybody is talking about it, boy.
Man, I'm just laughing. I can't help but laugh at how Rebecca just slid it in there. I'm like I knew where she was going before she even said Nancy Pelosi. I said, as soon as she said the kente cloth, I said, oh Lord.
I was trying to keep it light for a minute. I was trying to say, let me wait. We'll do this later. But I just, this has been a morning for me.
Play the footage.
Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice, for being there to call out to your mom. How heartbreaking was that? Call out for your mom. I can't breathe. But because of you, and because of thousands, millions of people around the world who came out for justice, your name will always be synonymous with justice.
Well, she's right. His name will always be finally, for the first time.
Got to the end of it.
But the beginning, boy, I tell you, boy.
It's for me. The thing is what she said, and this is why words matter. This is why words matter for sure. When she said, "Thank you for sacrificing your life," that man didn't sacrifice his life. He didn't wake up and say, "I'm gonna go and purposely die, get killed for the people." No. He was murdered. He didn't sacrifice his life. And that's why, words matter. And then you speaking from a place of surface. This is surface level for you because you don't have any family members that have to deal with this. You don't really, and not that you don't care, but you don't care enough. And the issue is just not something dire to you. Because at the end of the day, this ain't something that you could understand ever. The kente cloth did not instill you with the ability to feel black pain. It just didn't. That's why you got on that mic and said that he sacrificed his life. And then said, for you to sacrifice your life and then for you to call out to your mother. That was no, ma'am. Yeah. He was calling out to his mother because he was losing his life. He literally was calling out for a woman who had passed in that moment. Yeah. Because he knew he literally was losing his life. That goes up with the Raiders. I'm sorry. That goes up with the Raiders tweeting out, "I can breathe."
I missed that part. Wait. The Raiders tweeted that out?
The Raiders tweeted out, I can breathe, child. And I said,
you know what this is? This is those folks who get up in church and don't even know how to testify, and they just get up there and say something dumb as hell, like it's close to being something good, but then it ends up being something offensive. The Raiders tweeted out, and they got a whole corporate team behind them, right? They have a whole corporate PR team that's being paid millions of dollars. They probably paid $100,000 for that tweet, and they tweeted out what, Rebecca Azor?
They tweeted out, quote, "I can breathe." What?
Get the hell out of here.
Excuse me. First of all, who thought of this? Somebody sat in the room and said, "That's the one." The PR person said, "That's the one." The digital person said, "That's the one." Then they rolled it on the on the people's Twitter. They done rolled it on the people's Twitter. And they got diversity and inclusion in there. That's why diversity and inclusion do not work.
I knew that. Rebecca hates that diversity and inclusion.
Because it doesn't make any sense. Because
this is a failure of diversity and inclusion.
This guy named Phil Lindsay on Twitter said this, and this is the perfect tweet. He said, quote, "That Raiders tweet is what happens when you try to commercialize social justice. Brands want to be the first to put out a slogan instead of working with us to create a solution. Stop tweeting and tell me why Cap is still blackballed."
Come on. That's it right there.
Make it make sense. Y'all trying to be funny and change it from "I can't breathe" to "I can breathe" because we got this guilty verdict. Hey, brother, don't play like that. They weren't
trying to be funny. They thought they were being. They thought they were being innovative.
I got it, Sue. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So what we're gonna do?
We can breathe.
Somebody said it and got excited about that. Wow.
That's a Nancy. The tweet is a representation of what Nancy Pelosi did on the mic.
Wow.
Yeah, Nancy reminds me of that white person that says, "I have black friends." So
somebody said that earlier. Somebody said that earlier. And they can
say, like, we can, yeah, I can say that, because when she started looking for the crowd, that was sad, right? Wasn't that sad? Girl, don't do that. We know it was sad, girl. What is you doing, Nancy?
Nancy
Nancy
Pelosi. And Nancy. I don't know who hasn't stopped her yet. The lady literally thought it was a good idea to literally act like she was in Wakanda for solidarity with black folks.
Oh, with the kente cloth.
With the kente cloth.
Oh, man.
Why would the Black Caucus, okay? Why would they allow that? You see, this is why I say we need people in the rooms.
How did that conversation go, man?
We need people in the rooms, not for diversity and inclusion, but we need people in the rooms for a real conversation, reality. We need people to be like, nah, no. Exactly. No. You won't speak, Nancy. And I'm
Rebecca.
sorry. I know your position is higher than mine, but you don't have the mic, sis. It's not for you today.
Like, ma'am, hey, Nancy, excuse me, Miss Speaker of the House, that's not a good idea.
Can you do the Raiders office when they thought about this? Do it in your voice of when they were at the Raiders office, the social media team, as they came, I got it.
Okay, so we're all working in the office, okay, guys?
Okay.
So here we are. Oh, guys, it's a guilty verdict. And I was working on something and I thought, hey, listen, if we make it so that people now have relief, wouldn't you say, hey, I can breathe? Wouldn't you say that to the back? Because now
amazing.
It touches and it relates with people of color because they weren't able to breathe. Remember Eric Garner? Yeah. He couldn't breathe. He couldn't breathe. So now we're taking years and now it's innovative and now it's telling people, white folks and black folks, racial injustice has come to an end. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, that is like freaking outstanding, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Two wokes up. Two wokes.
Oh God.
Two wokes, guys.
Yeah. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if we drop it on an all black background, simple. Simplicity is best. They say that if we're
minimalism,
simple, and if we just do it like that, and we make it more black on the background because this is the black issue, but have the words in white. Yeah. It shows us
less is more.
And white. It definitely shows us that. Look at that. And if we put that date there.
And throw the emblem at the bottom there. Put the emblem at the bottom so we know it's the Raiders team. It matches with everything.
Yeah. And you know what? Actually, let's take it a step further. There's an underlying message there because it's 420, right? And we're smoking so we can breathe.
Oh, man.
It all ties into one. That's why I'm saying this is bullshit. This is not
That's it. That's the tweet.
It's not it.
That's the tweet.
Hey, Sharon Carter said, y'all should see the tweet from the Minneapolis mayor. So thank you for your super chat. But David, I think said he has a tweet. David, you probably need to put that in the Slack so we can see what it says first.
Yeah, we got to be prepared for those kind of things, man.
Yeah.
I needed that laugh, man. They really thought that was a good idea.
I'm about tired of them. I was like, but I just need to put all of that. We had to start with that. just literally let me just, definitely pew, pew, pew.
You got to get that off your chest.
Because I woke up this morning like, I'm going to choose violence on each and every one of these people because this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And this is why diversity and inclusion is not winning. It's not.
If y'all don't cancel every single one of y'all diversity and inclusion departments, because Rebecca Azor is tired of it.
I'm tired.
Oh, man.
I'm tired.
Whew. So I don't even know if I want to mess up our joy. What time is it? We got 10 more minutes. So let's cover one more story before we go to the after party. Steve Scalise, the House Republican whip, continued Republican attacks against Maxine Waters and called for her to be formally censured by the House. While speaking with reporters today, Representative Scalise asked why Representative Waters should be censored, but Mo Brooks shouldn't be, despite Brooks saying before the January 6th insurrection that it was time for Trump supporters to start kicking ass. Let's take a look at this response.
Well, first of all, I've been very clear in speaking out against any kind of political rhetoric that incites violence. But if you look at Maxine Waters' comments, the judge in the trial just yesterday acknowledge that Maxine Waters' comments are so inflammatory that it could cause grounds for an appeal if that ruling goes the wrong way. And in fact, the judge went on to say that elected officials need to stop doing this and stay out of this. The fact that Speaker Pelosi covered for, she was trying to incite violence, and in fact, there is violence going on right now in Minnesota because of her actions. This isn't the first time she's made those kind of inflammatory comments. So you're going to see Leader McCarthy bring a central resolution to the floor. I'd like to see Maxine Waters apologize for the inflammatory comments that she's made inciting violence. It's a powder keg down there. The last thing you want to do is make it worse, and especially to give grounds for an appeal. And look, we all watched what happened and saw Officer Chauvin cross the line. We should be all focused on making sure that justice is carried out. The last thing you'd want to do is give a grounds for an appeal that the judge himself acknowledged Maxine's comments.
Apologize also. I mean, there was a deadly riot that happened after he spoke at that rally.
Look, a lot of people have talked about the comments that other people have made and spoken out against it. Right now, I haven't heard any Democrats speaking out against what Maxine has said. And it's time for Democrats to speak out when they see it on both sides. They only want to speak out on one side of the aisle, not on both. And that hypocrisy, I think, is starting to shine through.
Do you agree with your it's hypocrisy now.
I was going to go. I have another clip of him. He continues saying that Trump's incitement of a mob that rioted at the Capitol and Maxine Waters said were different because Trump used the word peaceful. Let's watch this bit because I need you to see exactly how ignorant these people are willing to be in order to make some pathetic political point. Take a look.
The same level of violence?
No, in fact, President Trump used the words peaceful when he talked about the statements that he made. I haven't heard Maxine saying anything about peacefully protesting. She's talked about violence. She's talked about, I think the word is, get more confrontational in the streets if the verdict goes the wrong way. There's
Mary
nothing
had a little
peaceful
lamb.
about that. And again, the judge himself just yesterday said that could cause the grounds for an appeal.
Yeah. What kind of wording might?
Ooh, they can't wait. That can cause the grounds for an appeal.
Like he actually cares.
Maxine? Who is
Like he
that?
actually
Girl, you better
cares
put some
about
respect
the-
on her name.
The Congresswoman, Maxine Waters.
Thank you.
Listen, let me tell you something. She said what she said because, like I said, she speaks from a place that understands pain. She's been in this. She's seen it from generations. Like, that man that stood there cannot understand the place that she's speaking from. And that's my problem. So what they want to do is, okay, the terrorist attack on the 6th of January, okay, that. Even though, what did Trump say? He was like, the people aren't going to be pleased if I don't win. The people are going to fight for me, right? He literally was whistleblowing, and these people were congregating together. You had officials, other Congress people on the right, literally speaking in the way that Maxine is speaking for our people. Yet we literally have a reason. You guys were fighting for something, for a president seat that he lost. He is not president. That's what y'all was fighting for. We're fighting for the black lives y'all keep taking away from us every single day. And this woman understands that. Auntie Maxine Waters, Congresswoman Maxine Waters understands that. And she knew if there was no accountability happening, then yes, burn it down. You see what I'm talking about? This is Maxine Waters we're talking about, okay? Now, that's why I say we need people in these spaces to not be afraid to say what they need to say. And we understood what she said. We didn't take that as going out and going to make it like a war zone. No,
Right.
we're going to continue to do what we've been doing. She's saying, don't leave these streets, get more confrontational. Get more confrontational could be more signs. Get more confrontational could be standing in front of these places where these men have died for days and nights like they've already been doing. Get more confrontational means willing to risk your life for the message. We've been doing this for years. Stop playing. Stop playing with that lady and her words. And it's not that she deserves to step down because of that. She understands our plight. Why is it so hard for y'all to understand that? I don't understand it. You guys will take it to the media. Be quiet on all other situations, but as soon as she says this, it's literally the thing that's going to be covered all over the place, huh? It's going to be the only thing that we cover aside from, y'all killing black folks. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Today I'm really on one today because I felt like everybody is just dumb. Like everybody is just
as hell
disrespectful, so dumb.
Oh man.
Ignorant. And I don't want to have to play Twitter fingers with anybody. What I said is going to be what I said, especially when you guys will reach, people will reach, the media will reach literally for something that is not there. Y'all know why she said it. You guys know what she's referring to. You guys know how she's saying it. We're not flipping that. No.
Not today, Satan. No. Oh man.
Not today, Satan.
Do we have Dwayne, do you still have the clip from yesterday of Maxine Waters speaking? We don't have to play it right now, but I want to play it before the end of this segment because everything that you just said, Rebecca, is absolutely spot on. She said nothing except for what everybody already knew to be true. If y'all don't find this man guilty, y'all got hell to pay. And that's a fact. And so it's just the game that they play. Steve Scalise, they don't give a damn about the possibility of an appeal. They don't care about that. They just want to see. They're trying to find a way to attack Maxine Waters, and that's it. Period. Yeah. They've been wanting to come after her all this time because she was one of the leading voices to call for Donald Trump's impeachment in the first place when everybody else was afraid to call for impeachment. Maxine Waters was one of the first people to call. I'm talking about liberals who were afraid to call for Donald Trump to be impeached for like the first 3 years. They just sat there and let him do. No, Maxine Waters was right there calling for him to be impeached. So they've been after her for a long time. And this is all that is. Just let me know whenever we get that clip. I want us to take a look at what she said again.
We're looking for a guilty verdict, and we're looking to see if all of the talk that took place and has been taking place after they saw what happened to George Floyd, if nothing does not happen, then we know that we've got to not only stay in the street, but we've got to fight for justice. But I am very hopeful, and I hope that we're going to get a verdict that is say guilty, guilty, guilty. And if we don't, we cannot go away.
And not just manslaughter, right? I mean...
Oh, no, not manslaughter. No. This is guilty for murder. I don't know whether it's in the first degree, but as far as I'm concerned, it's first degree.
Congresswoman, what happens if we do not get what you just told? What should the people do? What should protesters on the street do?
I didn't hear you.
What happens?
What should protesters do?
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
They got to know that we mean business.
So come on, tell me where that said, oh, we have to go and throw bricks into people's homes because they white, burn towns down. Where does it say that we need to go shoot up places? Where does it say? Where is she saying that? She's saying we have to stay and continue the fight. Stop making it something else. And that's that. Simple as that.
Yeah. Go ahead, James.
Oh, no, I was going to say, Miss C. Beasley sent the super chat. Republicans calling for someone to apologize for comments. What a joke. Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly. There's nothing. I mean, Donald Trump literally said, hit him in the face, right? Donald Trump literally said all the things of violence, like telling the cops to rough him up. Donald Trump was the one who said he'll pay your legal fees. They would never, but that's the point, right? The point is for them to slow us down as much as they possibly can with their BS and their bad faith disingenuousness. They slow us down. And matter of fact, it was Professor Carl Hart. I can never say his name right. And the first time I interviewed him, we were talking about the accusation that George Floyd had fentanyl in his system, and that's why he died. And so he said in response to that, he had to take away from his studies and writing his book, and he had to come and write an article for the New York Times about why blaming it on drugs was just another extension of white supremacy. And it just dawned on me. I'm like, damn it. It's got to be frustrating to realize that you have to take all of this time to explain to these racists why what they said was racist and why what they're trying to do here is racist. And you have to take away from your profession to explain something that should be self-explanatory. And Dr. Hart reminded me of, or actually told me about a quote, and I can't remember the writer. I don't know if it was Nikki Giovanni or if it was Toni Morrison. It was Toni Morrison. And Toni Morrison said the purpose of racism is to occupy your time. It is to take your time. It is to tie you up. And this is what we're having to do with this. You had to do this with the story explaining why the Raiders tweet is so bad faith. It's like, it's not what they thought it was. And we have to take our time unraveling for them, right? You had to do it at the beginning of the show, talking why we should not be okay with Ma'Khia Bryant having been killed because she had a knife. Just because and we shouldn't be okay with that. And so you have to take more time and you have to unravel, you have to unpack the white supremacy every single day. And you know what they're doing while they have us here unraveling all of their BS? They're moving forward with all their tax breaks. They're moving forward with all of their things that they want for big
voter
oil.
suppression bills while they think that we're not looking.
Damn it, right. So they're occupying our time while they're running up the scoreboard for their agenda.
Yep. You are 100% correct. And to put it in that light pisses me off even more. Okay. You're igniting my fire.
It's making it worse. Right?
That fire, right?
Because honestly, that's all we do is unravel all of this white supremacy. I had to say what I said, because if I didn't, nobody would understand. They would be stuck in the dumbness. The dumbness equals white supremacy. The dumbness equals, and we've all, like I said, have played a role in that because it's systemic. But at the same time, like, I don't want to have to do that, especially with my own people.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's it. Like, you, of all people, you should know, brother.
Yeah, you know? It's one of those things. Like, I feel like I gotta killer Mike them sometimes. Like, brother, are you serious as a black man?
You gotta killer Mike woman? Sometimes.
Yeah. So it's I don't know.
And Mad Maple Syrup from Twitch said, Maxine did not say that. It's just more white men projecting their anger. Ha! Facts.
Yeah, that's it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Ma'Khia Bryant. I know that she was in a foster community as well. I think as more of the news continues to develop, we'll get the pieces of the story. But I don't care. She was a teenager. A teenager to me is a child, a kid.
Yes.
She was doing hair videos on TikTok, showing her beautiful natural hair on TikTok and how she gets it together. Beautiful girl that was shot. That was shot down. That's crazy.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being you're just trying to survive. That little girl was just trying to survive her circumstances, her surroundings, and she had every right to defend herself. And being the one, like, desperately, you got to be in a bad position to call the cops in the first place.
Yeah.
Right.
She was already going through a hard time. You're in the foster system, and
then you call the police. You're in survival mode, and you're the one that gets killed. And then to add insult to that tragic injury, you got black folks online talk about, oh, well, she had a knife.
That's crazy. Like it goes right with she should have complied. She should have complied. He had a knee on his neck, but he should have complied, with the officer. She didn't even get a chance to.
She didn't even get a chance to comply.
Nothing. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it going. It's Wednesday, and we said Wednesdays we'll probably keep it going. We're going to keep it going a little bit more. We have a couple more stories we want to cover. But James, take us to a break. See if you could inject some life back into us. And it's not that we don't have life in us. It's just that these stories just snatch the soul out of us. It just rips us up. And well, James, we need your magic here, man. It's in your hands. More likely or not after this.
goes by and yet I wonder, are you and me still the same? Are you still loving the game? I know I don't. You cast your spell and now.
Good morning again, everybody. We're gonna keep on rocking here, so to be able to catch the stream, y'all. Make sure that y'all hit the like, comment, y'all, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want to become a patron, you can. You can go to patreon.com/likeItOrNot, patreon.com/likeIt or not, y'all. Make sure that y'all hit that comment button, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Promise to myself and I repeat it in my head. Set your mind free. Set your mind free. No one knows what I've been through, but this is the end of me and you.
And y'all also make sure that y'all follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Let's get them likes up and those views up over there. Follow us on Instagram, Like It or Not Show on Instagram and Facebook. Like It or Not Show on Facebook and Instagram, y'all. Shout out to Latif. What's going on, brother? You know I got you.
Time goes by and yet I wonder, why do we put each other through hell?
Fair girl, I appreciate that.
Myself, I know I should. You cast your spell and now and under.
Seven Sweetheart. Good morning, good morning. Kev Z, I thank you, sir. You know, I saw them like, yeah, this would be a good song. We don't see a brighter day, y'all. We got to just make sure that we stay positive, y'all. I know we've been fighting for a long time. A long time. But we're going to get there, y'all.
Walk out the door, yeah. Made a promise to myself and I repeat it in my head. Set your mind free.
Barbara, I appreciate that.
Set your mind free. No one knows what I've been through, but this is the end of me and you. Set your mind free. Oh, hey, yeah. Oh.
Courtney, good morning, good morning. Eric Killmonger, love that freaking name, so welcome, welcome. That was perfect time. Look at that.
Actually, it was.
It was.
With that fade out.
So,
and then Ben was like, "Woo!" And I was like, "See,
oh man,
song ended." It was.
We were thinking about ending the stream, but we didn't want to leave. We didn't want to leave you, the audience, with the same kind of burden that we have on us. Like part of our job is to break the news to you without breaking you. So we're gonna try to leave on. I mean, but you know what? All in all, we got a long way to go. A long way to go. But Derek Chauvin going to jail.
And that's a good thing.
Oh, man. I did drop something in the Slack that showed Derek Chauvin's first day in jail, man. I don't know if they can get it that quick, though.
Wait, is it?
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
It would be wonderful. Let me see.
I would love to see it.
I think I know what it is.
I would love to see that. That damn man. I would love to see that.
Yes, y'all about to get us into, man. But that said, though, it takes so much for us to get justice in this country. We have to move heaven and earth just to get a damn guilty verdict, right? This man, we had to have 24 angles for them to get a guilty verdict. The cops themselves had to say, yeah, nah, we're not with this dude, in order for us to get a guilty verdict. And that just shows you like how much of a hurdle and how much of a lift it is to get justice in this country.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. You know what, Ben? Can we play the stupid? I know we're going to that, but I really want to show you guys, and I don't know if we have it in this at all. I dropped it in the Slack late, but Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And
how he lost his mind? Yes.
He lost his mind. But here's the thing. It was the man that he thought he brought on that was going to agree with him on how policing should be done. And when the man was like, you know what? Yeah, he was a police officer. Yes, he was. But he exerted too much force on this man.
I think we got that.
I need us to play that clip.
It's not. I don't have the long version. I have the short version. But it does. It says basically everything that you said. Dwayne, do you have that clip of Tucker Carlson? I can't pronounce Carl. Carl is a very very difficult word for me. But do we have that clip ready?
The scene. I just think that it was excessive and it shouldn't happen. And what I'd like to say,
the guy who did it looks like he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. So I'm kind of more worried about the rest of the country, which, thanks to police inaction, in case you haven't noticed, is
the longer version
boarded up.
Yes, because this is not giving us.
That's more my concern.
Let me tell you something.
Come on, Ed Gavin. Thank you.
Okay, Dwayne. David. See if you can grab a longer version.
On the longer version, he literally cuts him off the screen. He literally sends him out, and then the man is trying to say more, and he says, "Nope, done." And continues on with because the man was making a point, and he pulled up a report that was talking about asphyxiation from 1992. Wow. And he was here's this report in 1992. Here are receipts. Here it is right here. And that man was like, well, it's all about actually what police are going through around the nation. How about that? And then that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about this case, honey. And that police officer was wrong. But it just goes to show that the people in the media will definitely. Yesterday when I turned on, y'all, after the guilty verdict, I had a friend that had stopped by, and the friend was like, let's watch the news or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm already on the news. He's like, no, a different perspective. I said, oh, you on Fox? Here you go. I get on Fox, right? First thing, this is 5 minutes after the guilty verdict. The lady on goddamn Fox was like, you know what? It's all about really how the police are being treated. And if we can really focus on the police. I said, is she serious? So then I waited. I went back to CNN and all the other ones. Then I came back after an hour. Police in this country are having such a hard time. They're being treated as trash in the streets. I had to think to myself, they are not are you who?
Can't get away with shooting a nigga no more.
They just killed They just killed a 16-year-old. They just killed a teenager. And then after that, we're saying Blue Lives Matter. Right after the fact. They literally stood in that girl's yard and said Blue Lives Matter. So I ain't got it for Fox.
You talking about? Do we? Because we don't have that clip, and this is in the yard. Just for context for everyone, in the yard where they killed Ma'Khia Bryant, the police were gathered and looked at people who were grieving and said, "Blue Lives Matter." I'm kind of more worried about. I just don't know if people really understand the depth of evil that has to be inside of these people. See, it's not even a matter of, we talk about them having political ideologies underneath those badges, and we can't assume that because they put on that badge, they're going to be, good people. We're not even talking about the threshold of good people. When you could sit in the yard of of a child that you just killed and say, Blue Lives Matter, we're dealing with a level of evil that's cloaked in justice and protecting and serve. That's what you want us to believe. When we could see the depth of their derangement, we can hear it with their words. That's what you're talking about, Rebecca. I just don't know if people saw that clip, and we don't have that clip, but I saw it really briefly this morning. Mm-hmm. And I just thought you just have to be evil person to do that.
There was so much happening, Ben, and I think that I'm just so overcome with emotion because I feel like that little girl could be my little sister. And when I hear other people discussing the guilty verdict that we should have been at least celebrating, but we knew we couldn't celebrate. We didn't know when the other person was going to get shot. We didn't know. We didn't know it was going to be during the verdict being read. We didn't know it was going to be underway. We didn't know that, but we knew that we wouldn't have that moment forever. We knew that we wouldn't have that sense of peace forever. That's why I couldn't condition myself to say, oh my gosh, we've won. I couldn't condition myself to do that. And boom. Exactly our worst fear happened during that moment. It pissed me off. And then I get, I'm on social media and I see a guy riding a bike, literally riding a bike down the street. And he has a helmet that has a camera on it. The police officers didn't know. He literally is in the process of riding a bike with his friend, gets pulled over mid-riding bike. The officers, if they didn't even go down that pathway on their bikes, they would have never got caught. The officers see them and say, "Hey, get pull over, drop the bikes." And the boy's looking like, "What? Me for what?" And it's all his perspective looking at the cop the whole time. The cops make that boy, both of the boys, he makes one of them, he says, "Get on your knees and crawl to me." He says, "You guys fit on camera." He says, "You guys fit the description of the people that robbed somewhere." And the description of the person was blue jeans and white sneakers. The boy had the boy is an avid the man is an avid bike rider, both of them. And they always ride their bikes, and they have the helmets to show that they're them doing tricks. But this time it showed the officers literally telling them that they fit a description from 40 feet away in darkness as two men are riding bikes. Made them get down on the floor, on the sidewalk for hours, and told them that they fit the description, while the person that did it is out there doing God knows what. And they just... Right. And it was all caught on this helmet. And you know what I thought to myself? Where did he get that helmet? And maybe I can get some from my nephews.
Wow. That's heavy.
Because I want to make sure that they're safe too, and everything is caught on camera. The officers had no idea. And the young man didn't have any idea either, you guys. He literally was just riding the bike, and the police officers were pulled over, and all of a sudden, "Stop! Hey, you guys stop!" All caught on camera. You would have thought this was out of a scene of a movie. He said, crawl to me. Get on your hands and knees and crawl to me. Crawl to me. And
that is so wow.
So
that's heavy. We didn't. You said it. We did not even get. That moment was snatched away from us so quickly, because you would just you couldn't even go a day without killing a black person.
No.
Couldn't even go 6 hours.
Mm-mm.
And here we are yet again in the same scenario. Dwayne, do we have that clip, the longer version of that clip ready? Okay. All right. This is the full clip, Rebecca, that you were talking to.
It's okay.
All right. So we don't have that one. We'll get
it's
that
fine.
another time.
But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to just show you guys how pathetic Tucker Carlson and how he looks like a crazy person, because the person that he brought on the show was supposed to literally just be like, police have to use this type of force. And he was like, police shouldn't be using this type of force. Back in 1992, we talked about asphyxiation and how this is da-da-da-da. And yet he literally was breaking it down to why Derek Chauvin needed to be underneath the jail. And Tucker Carlson could not fight it. He kept saying the real reason is, let's talk about the police and how they're being abused. Let's talk about that. And I'm like, yo, first of all,
they really mean this.
Like, they pay that man millions to be, and this is why I say dumb. Somebody said he's not dumb, he's disingenuous. No, he's dumb. All of it is dumb. These people are stupid. They literally sit here, and I think they've done it so much, they believe the things that they're saying. Yeah. They really some of them, you guys think that people are out here just doing this to get paid. Some people actually believe what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's the kicker. The kicker is they actually believe it and they're passionate about it.
And
right?
that's more scary to me than somebody. That's more scary to me than somebody who's faking it for the money, like Candace Owens. Like that's what I'm saying. Like on the white side of things, these people really believe that this is racism in the news seat on the anchor's desk. This is racism. Fox News literally is a racist network. If you just watch it, how do we talk about a guilty verdict and change that into us protecting police officers?
Right.
How?
Right. White supremacy.
Exactly.
Right. I hate to. This country is rooted in it, steeped in it. It is a core part of what this country is, and for Fox News, it is their business plan. Their business plan, their profit margins come as a result of the level of white supremacy that they can manage to put into a suit and tie versus the Klan's robe. That's all Fox News is at this juncture. And the fact is that we're fighting against, this is the height. Fox News is the height of political communication in this country, right? And this is what I mean. I mean, like, they are broadcasting to millions of people every single episode of every show every day. Like, they have the biggest platform, and this is what we're up against. But the biggest platform in this country, their business model, Fox News, white supremacy. And Tucker Carlson is doing his part, and that's why he gets paid $7 to $8 million a year to make sure that no matter what happens, he protects white supremacy at all costs.
Yeah, and he's gonna burn. I mean, he's gonna burn in hell. Like, we thought Pat Robertson was gonna burn. That man is going to fry. And y'all know I don't play about people like, you know, when it comes to like people's death. I couldn't even talk about the Prince recently. You know, I couldn't. But you know. He was a walking corpse, but this Tucker Carlson is literally going to fry. He's gonna fry for everything that he thinks that he's doing good. It's like, I don't know. And I believe that these people aren't sleeping at night. They're the ones that have to be on them pills. They take them anxiety pills while chucking down whatever kind of whiskey or whatever. They are miserable.
No, I think they're sleeping good. I think they're sleeping
because of the drugs. They can't sleep on they can't sleep on peace alone. They are on the damn drugs.
But they actually believe, Rebecca. They actually believe what they're saying, and if they really believe what they're saying,
fighting for something. Like the same way that we lose sleep. The same way that we lose sleep when, you know, when things like this happen. Little girls are being shot down. Black men are literally looked at as thugs on sight. Black babies are looked at as thugs on sight and being shot down. We lose sleep because of that. They're losing sleep because the demons, their demons won't let them sleep. So they have to go on drugs to help them sleep and do it again. To stay and work in their evil again. Like they got to go get Botox to keep their face up because they wrinkled quick because all that evil is spewing out of their skin. They got to go and get Rogaine and Beijing, not the best type of Beijing, but as soon as that evil starts spewing out and they can't take it starts to leak down their forehead. Okay?
Which one was that?
Don't play with me.
Who was that had the
Beijing? Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani. Oh my goodness. His evil was just so thick it just started sweating. It just
started sweating all up and through that. We've seen it, you know, and you know, when Donald Trump got COVID, you know, stop playing.
You know, I was like, come on, universe. You could have done us a solid at that point. Like, this man caused so many people to die.
Ben, I can't speak like that, bitch. Man, I can't speak that way, sir.
I was like, Ben, I was just like, you know, universe, do your thing, universe. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Universe, do your thing. I'll leave it alone. Won't say nothing else.
No, I can't. I'm not there with y'all. But I will say, you know, stop playing. Let me tell you something. Yeah, I think they can't sleep at night because they're on drugs. But they are just the worst type of people. I mean, and they're always going to be, too. They're just going to be here. Those evil people are going to be here. And then on their last 3 days, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm a savage. Remember, I too was a savage. Classic, bougie, and ratchet. They're gonna do that. So,
oh man, these people are. We live in a really sick country, folks. Like, this is a really sick, twisted place that we live in, and the top of the empire is protected by a propaganda machine like the likes we have never seen in the history of mankind. Fox News alone, and it's not just Fox News, right? Mind you, it's all over the place. It trickles down all the way to like Delta Airlines and Coca-Cola here in Atlanta, Georgia, you know, waiting until after the voter suppression legislation was signed into law to actually come out and stand against it, right? And I only use that because I want to make sure everybody understands it's from top to bottom. The propaganda machine that we're fighting against goes all the way to Fox News, broadcasting to tens of millions of people every single day, all the way down to the local Delta Airlines office that wants to look like they're standing against voter suppression, but when we needed them to actually fight with us, they weren't saying anything. Right? And so this is what we're fighting against, and we're fighting against it using, you know, we got to use their tools. We're using YouTube, we're using Facebook and Twitter and Twitch, but the fight is really, I mean, it's real. We are honestly fighting against like wickedness in high places at a level, at a level that I think we don't really understand in context of right now because we're living through it. You know, James, like Rebecca, we're living through it. And so maybe we don't understand the scale and the scope, but this is a real fight.
A struggle all my life type of feel.
All
Literally.
my life.
I had
to fight.
Listen.
To fight my
and
mom,
but you see,
fight my daddy.
Go ahead, Ben. I mean, yeah, just like that. Listen, but I need you guys who are watching to understand what we're doing right now is what we have to do every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have to go through these motions, but we don't get the opportunity. We don't get the chance to just sit it out. I gotta clock into work, but you think my job is gonna be like, wow, I know there's a lot that you've been going through. You see, like you guys didn't know about the guilty verdict. If it was gonna be, we're gonna give you guys the day off, and we do understand. If you do need to take it off, we understand. No, we have to find our joy by ourselves. We have to find joy in the pain that these white folks are doing, like every single day. Like we gotta sit up here, cry about it, fight about it, scream about it, whisper about it, try to laugh about it, and at night we get into bed and everything gonna be okay. It do not be okay, but try to sleep through it and do it again the next day. This is our lives as Black people, not knowing if we're gonna die. A cop came to my house last night because my neighbor downstairs said I was stomping. I got hardwood floors. It is 11 p.m. I'm walking through my house. There is no reason why the cops should be coming to my house every other week now. Every other week. And like I'm sitting here, I hear them banging on the left, I hear them banging on the right. I never call authorities on these people because I don't want to. I don't want them to feel like they're in danger, but I forget it's me, the Black girl, that would be more in danger than them too.
Absolutely. Wow.
Like my life every day, Ben, your life every day, Bubba, your life every day. We have to literally walk around and live this way. And I come here and I gotta joke to keep myself sane. I have to laugh. I have to be able to do that. But it's sad that we gotta unravel and unpackage.
Exactly.
And unpack for y'all. And then we gotta it's so much. But Tucker Carlson gets to kick the person off of his show that's telling the truth. That's giving a perspective that's true. Kick him off of his show and still get a check for it.
There's so much money in lying. There's so much money in lying.
Yeah.
We lie if we lied about the Black, if we just ignored. Quick story. I was working a corporate job in Boston, and it was a really great experience. I talk about it all the time. And it was I looked around, I'm like, wow, it was so good. I was like, oh, this is a good example of what capitalism could do. And then they pulled me into one of those diversity and inclusion meetings, Rebecca.
You'd be the only one carrying that whole diversity and inclusion team. It'd just be you.
Well, because the thing is, though, if they keep us so busy in our jobs and we start making a little money or whatever, we kind of forget as Black people.
Yeah.
They messed around and pulled me into this diversity inclusion meeting, and they started waking up like they were asking questions about police brutality, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, hold on. Like I'm here trying to just do my job, and y'all are asking me questions that are awakening the reality of what it's like to be a Black person in this country. See, the thing is y'all got to be careful when y'all wake up these diversity inclusion meetings. Y'all don't understand, like a lot of Black people have had to ignore the majority of what we see and hear and know about this country just so that we would be able to function in your country, right? Now y'all get to some of these diversity and inclusion meetings. You want us to explain to you racism, and you want us to, we appreciate it. It's cool and all, but you just got to understand, like this thing runs deep. Mm-hmm. This thing runs deep, and then don't be surprised that when you awaken, because just for I don't know, what is it, social justice, gentrification. Mm-hmm. That's what it's kind of like. But you wake up the side of us that has been suppressed out of necessity just to survive this country. And so yeah, I was in that meeting and I had to excuse myself. I was like, guys, I don't really realize I've been trying to hold it together all these years. And you're asking me to
open up.
Don't open up that Pandora's box. I left. I never came back. I never went back to that meeting again. Because
I
would have been in the break room tearing up all the gummy bears they had in there, all the fresh fruit and shit they had.
You know, some black gummy bears.
All that good tea that he's had. Had barrels of apples in the lunchroom, which I would have been in there just throwing everything. If y'all keep waking up that dragon in me, man.
And it's funny because Ben, but the thing is, you would have been the only one to carry the diversity, the inclusion team. It would have been just you, Ben. They would have been like, hey, we're having a potluck. Is there a way that you can make it diverse? You know how they say, you're invited to the cookout, Could you do something like that for us? And the next thing you know, now you creating this whole thing.
It's like
they want you to, they want you to be over the music. They want to, am I slow right now? What do you say?
No, I'm with you. I'm in the story with you.
Yeah, so they want you to be over the music, and because it has to be black music. But for them, they got everybody doing, hey Sarah, you're on the you're gonna be on the potato salad with the raisins. Don, you're going to be doing the music. Yes, Lee, we didn't forget about you. Make sure you have your cat swimming in the tuna salad that you're bringing. And Ben,
your cat's going to be on the counter? Nice.
Meanwhile, I'm over there on the grill, like, it's twitching.
Ben, Ben, you're black. You know how to grill. Ben, you're black. You know urban music. Don't you know how to rap too? Ben, you're black. Can you wear something a little urban?
Damn.
Do you know a DJ? Exactly. Damn. Exactly.
That's when you snap.
Everything.
Oh my goodness. Now I'll be mad and be like, I don't know what happened. He was such a nice guy. Oh my goodness. I would have hulked out.
Rebecca, Latish said, we got you, fam. Find some extra cushy slippers. He sent the super chat.
Oh, listen, say no more.
I said I was gonna pull up and come about 11:30, and I'm gonna put on my thick ass polo boots. That's a size 13. Be walking all over the goddamn floor. What's up? What you say, Rebecca? We having a party, girl. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we come in there and do a whole step show.
Whole step show, bro.
I'm gonna be like, yep, we're working out and we're having a step show and we're doing all things. I'm washing clothes.
We do our whole marching band routine from classic.
Everything, man.
98.
Classic 98.
Imagine if I had kids. I would let my kids run around.
Rebecca,
on purpose.
Oh man.
So,
they actually called the cops on you because you were walking too loud.
And once again, he came up. He said, I have to come.
And we know that Rebecca is not big by far. So come on now, because I have neighbors that stay upstairs, have somebody that stays above me, and they walk just what you're used to, and you live under above somebody, below somebody, whatever the hell it is. You're gonna hear their ass, especially you got hardwood floors.
And then you're in an apartment complex. Go live in a house. This is what I've been saying.
Go live in a goddamn house.
Like if you can't afford a house, and then I knew, because I know my feet, but I remember my first time I had lived somewhere and somebody had lived above me. I said, never again. But I paid extra to live on the top floor. So y'all need to figure out your life. I'm not going to, and you know what's so funny? I had a meeting with my front office just like a week ago because they called the police on me. I told you it's been every week.
They stay calling the police on you.
Yes,
My God.
and I went to the office and I spoke to the woman there. I said, I am not going to be policed in my home. I'm going to listen to music when I want to. I said, I follow the noise ordinance rules, because when you live in those uppity places, there's a noise ordinance and you have to follow it. And I'm like, okay, I follow the noise ordinance rules. If you come to my door, if you come to any area and portion of my doorway, you're going to hear what's happening in my home. Yes, because you're at my door. Other than that, you should not be around my door area. When you're walking by, you're going to hear the conversation that I'm having right now from my door. Wow. I should not feel like I am not safe in the place that has nothing but safety. I got an alarm system. I have a gate at the front. I still don't. This is what I'm saying. They feel safe. They feel safe enough to call the cops on me. I don't feel safe. I don't. And they told me when I went to the front, I said I can do something, and I can literally tell my neighbor stop calling the cops. I can literally tell them that. But then a cop may be called on me for doing so, and then I may not have a life tomorrow, tonight, today, in the next few minutes, because I decided to stick up for myself. And I told the cop, I said, I don't feel comfortable with you coming here. He said, I know. And he's like, I'm not here. He says, as you can see, I didn't bring anything with me because I knew it was you. And he's like, I have to come when they call. But when I went to the front, I told them, can you guys have a conversation with them? They told me they would, but they so scary. They they never did. Because I told them, follow up with me the next week to let me know what happens. And they never did. So I actually called them yesterday before the cop came. It's funny to say, was there any follow-up? They said they would call me back. Nothing. They haven't reached out to me or anything. And
That's
then,
terrible.
And then I told her, and I specifically spoke to the only woman there that is Black, and she understands me. I looked at her, I said, I do not want to, the reason that I don't even report my neighbors is because I don't want to be that mad Black woman, the aggressive woman that lives in the building. But I said, but let me tell you something, I can turn on so quick. I can definitely turn on so quick. And I said, I also told her, if I tweet out the residents, you guys will be done. And she looked at me, I said, literally, you guys will be calling me. But I'm just afraid because there's creepers out there. That's why I don't want to put out where I live. But I was like, all I got to do is get Benjamin Dixon to retweet and y'all dead. It's over. It's done for this apartment complex. It is done.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Two of them. Colin Sherwood sent a super chat saying more skits. But this one, Daniel Johnson says, this is bull. I'm so dang mad. Can we please start a GoFundMe or something to get Rebecca a house, please? Put me on there too, goddamn. I need one too. I'm sick of having somebody walk on top of me.
Let's move together, Bubba. Come on,
look, okay. Like I got the TikTok mansions. Let's go do a Rebecca mansion.
Yes.
No one gets in unless they 6'7". 6'7".
That's it. Look, 6'7".
Nobody gets in the house. You got to be 6'7".
6'7", baby. But no, seriously,
6'6".
I really
6'6" and a 6'pack. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
6'7", dark skin, preferably. If you light skin, you know what I'm saying. You gotta have a little hoodness to you. I like them Haitian and African. You know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not fooling with you today.
But man, you see what I'm saying? Like I
that's a shame. I don't. That's just crazy, Rebecca. I'm sorry you're going through that. Because that does that does put you at risk. I'm glad at a minimum the police officer, at least he knows you enough to know, but maybe that's not the same police officer they're going to send every night.
They fired the original one. Remember when I told you guys this way back when you first brought me back, Ben? And I was talking about, oh my God, the police officer came and it was a young, little 23-year-old police officer, full gear, had his hand on his gun, and told me that he can hear my television. I'm like, no, you can't. It's on 12. The TV goes up to 100. It's on 12. And he's like, well, I'm getting complaints and I can hear your television when I was walking down the hallway. The hallway is empty. We're still doing construction on this building. Wow. It's just me and another person on the end. Who was it bothering? And when he held his hand on his gun, I was so afraid. And I was like, sir, I didn't do anything. Why was that the first thing I had to say? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Because my initial reaction was to give that man attitude. And I had to pull that back. I had to pull it back. And say,
but why?
I can't. But they fired him. They said that he was too aggressive.
Okay, good.
They said he was too aggressive. So they hired somebody else.
That is what the hell do you live, Rebecca? Don't say it on air.
To say it, but I'm not. I'm by myself. I would never. I can't. And it's funny. I live in a lavish area. Yes, I do. But because I can afford it here, it's literally half the cost of what it is in Atlanta or where I lived in Marietta. I can't afford that, y'all. I really can't. I wish I can go back to where it was safer for me, where I felt safer, but I can't afford it. So,
but what's wild about this is that it's unsafe for you because it is a nicer side of town, and these Karens are it's the exact opposite of what they want us to think about when Black communities are afraid. When black communities are afraid, they want you to think that we're afraid of the drug dealer next door, or we're afraid that we can't walk down our street. Nah, we understand that community well, and we understand how to navigate that well. What we're afraid of is the fact that y'all are gonna call the cops on us. That at any moment in time, a police officer could come and feel completely deputized and authorized to take my life because, well, he was trying to hit his quotas. Like that is the real persistent and nagging and ever-present threat that white supremacy poses in this country. And guess what? You don't even have to be a cop. We still ain't got George Zimmerman. He's still free.
He's writing books. What was it, in a celebrity match? He's the man profited off of it, just like that man that shot those police officers. That one of the police officers that were involved in the murder of Breonna Taylor was trying to write a book. Yes, and then when it got viral, that everybody was like, "You won't." All of a sudden, the book company that considered it pulled out of it. But the fact that it was considered, the fact that it was going to happen, my God, today. Are we serious?
My God,
that you even thought to do that? Get the hell out of here.
No, see, it's like George Zimmerman is out there. The police officers may be fired from their jobs, but they benefit in another way because they would be supported. The little boy, Rittenhouse, went and shot up people at a protest, and is looked at as a hero. As a young boy that was doing what he had to do because he felt like he needed to protect his own, which is what the protesters were out there doing. My God! But they looked at the guy that the mass murderer. And they protected him. They created a GoFundMe for him. Raised so much money that boy is sitting okay. Do you understand, y'all?
Get rich. It's a get rich. If you want to get rich in this country, kill a black person.
Kill a black person. That's it.
Darren Wilson got paid. I forgot how much money to do the interview with George Stephanopoulos, if I'm remembering correctly. Darren Wilson, the cop who killed Michael Brown, got paid good money. Get paid good money to kill a black person in this country.
You see what I'm saying? And that woman who killed Dante.
Yeah.
Recently.
15 minutes away.
Protection all over her house.
Right. Ooh, boy. My.
It's crazy.
Somebody said a 17-year-old is not little. Okay. Kyle Rittenhouse to me is he's a kid. And so was the Makhia. She's a kid. And so I don't care. They treated her like a grown woman in the streets. Like a grown, like she just deserved to die. I can't get it. But Kyle, what they did with him was treat him and coddle him. Even though he walked out there with grown man hair on his chest with that gun. But they coddled him. They made sure he was okay. They protected him. And I say that because somebody in the chat said 17-year-old isn't a child.
But they treat, like you said, you just said it. They treat that 17-year-old as a child to protect him, and they treat a 12-year-old Tamir Rice as a grown man to execute him. So, yeah, this is America, and again, it is in the backdrop of the fact that we finally got some justice. And before we could even let that justice resonate, here we go again. Let's do this because we still have about 15 minutes. We're obviously going to do the rest of the show live here with everyone. This is normally not what you get in the after party. The after party is normally a good time, but there's just so much happening. And so let's take a quick break. Let's put on some music and reset for the last 15 minutes of Like It or Not. We'll be back after this.
Coach, I love you, mama. Yeah. Hard worker, curse you but won't hurt you.
Shout out to everybody that's still hanging with us today. Y'all don't like it or not. Make sure that y'all hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Like It or Not Show. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Like It or Not Show, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go.
Homie, I go crazy. Now that I'm older, I'm getting a little closer. Love only gets stronger, we talking a little longer. Was more than
shout out to the mamas. Mamas. Little throwback song for y'all. Let's go.
If it wasn't for her, then it would not be me. I got nothing but love for all my mommies represent. If it wasn't for her, then it would not be me. I got nothing but love.
What is that? Michael 147. I'm a king. Yeah, I'm a whole ass king out here in these streets. Yeah. We'll go with the king.
Magician with the ring, she made it happen.
Dude, good morning, good morning. Ever, good morning. Purple Rain Arts, good morning, y'all. Yes, right, Rebecca. King. K-A-N-G. Oh, king. Keep the frame right. Boom. Right there.
Bully, that's my old lady. Same woman, front row, yelling rap, baby.
Y'all see my crown. Got a little ponytail. I got a little bun, too, on my head.
She done raised the good
but it's still cute,
when
though.
shit was getting tougher, she told me to pray harder. And if she hit the number, she would give me every dollar. Thanks, mama. If it wasn't for her, then it would not be me. I got nothing but love for all my mommies represent. If it wasn't for her, then it would not be me. I got nothing but love for all my mommies represent. No matter
all right,
what,
y'all.
Baby, she
welcome back to the screen.
Remember all the times when I was out here running wild, doing everything
wait,
and
did I hear
anything to
wait?
make her smile. I just love it when my mama say I make her proud. No matter what for her, baby, she gon' hold it down.
All right, welcome back to the screen. Ben and Rebecca, y'all.
Anything to make her smile.
I thought I heard Rebecca say, wait, I'm like, is Rebecca no, she's gone? Oh, okay.
Nah, man, we just kind of was vibing to the music a little bit.
Look, I actually went to go get my wings. I'm starving. I
That's
thought the music was going to play a little bit longer. I didn't know.
So she probably did yell, wait.
I knew I wasn't crazy.
Alexa, play up.
She didn't hear you.
Beat me too.
Oh, she didn't hear me. Okay, never mind.
Alexa, play Cardi B up.
She's not listening to y'all.
No, she's not on it today.
Good job.
Okay. Uh-oh. With that whole ass CIA agent in your
Alexa
bedroom.
got an attitude over there. Alexa,
She's not listening.
helpful.
The whole fed.
Alexa, there she is.
Oh, gotta be bougie with it. Alexa.
I know, right? Rebecca has so many voices, man. Like Rebecca has like 18 different.
She just said, thanks, I
accents.
like you too.
Oh,
girl.
Yeah, I do. I have like a million voices. It's just, and that's why I always tell people, like, I happen to be from South Florida, so then I sometimes dip in and out of that. And then I'm Haitian, so sometimes some words come out with the Haitian accent or I can't pronounce them. And then because growing up where I lived was suburban, so a lot of white.
You got a little bit of care. You speak a little Karenism.
I know that very well because my friends who were white, like my best friend when I was younger, her name was Abby. Her mom was a Karen. Then my next door neighbor, who we used to invite to all my birthday parties, was white, and that was a Karen. So yeah,
Your experience with how to navigate Karenism, son.
It's it runs deep. My blackest
you
experience
are very fluent in Karen.
Oh, I'm very fluent. Yes, and here's the thing about that though. All of that is all me though. I'm a medley. Like I'm a melting pot for real. I don't really like be out here trying to be something I'm not. That's why I think it's a gift.
You're the fruit salad of diversity. That's why. Is that why you don't like the diversity and inclusion so much? Because it's like you are the quintessential diverseness.
No, it's because diversity and inclusion is dumb. It ain't real.
What do you have against diversity and inclusion, man?
Because it's been diversity and inclusion in a big business is just going to be you. And then now you got to go and recruit me. And then I got to go recruit the next black person. And then it's going to be us three, me, you, and Bubba on a big
carrying
company.
the weight of the world.
On a big company,
right.
Carrying the weight of the world. And if something goes wrong with the company and a black person, they're going to have to come tap on us. And then what we going to do? We have to be like, damn, we work for this racist ass company and they want us to make them look not racist.
Right.
Now we got to come up with something and people going to look at us like sellouts. That's diversity. To me, that's how they have built this diversity and inclusion thing. That's why I got a problem with it, because at first when it came out, because we know diversity and inclusion was birthed after the Starbucks thing. So they started forcing the people to take the courses. And what do we say? Oh my God, they're taking courses about how not to be racist. Wow. Are we moving fast? Are we moving forward, or are we not here? I see forward movement. That's how they were doing that. And I was like, is anybody else seeing that this is dumb? Like, if we've been black for years and racism is bad for years. And now we're thinking,
does anybody see this but me?
Like, a 2-week course or a 3-day course or a 24-hour course. We're shutting down Starbucks, guys. This is innovative. This is fresh. This is going to get the people going. Like,
keep the people going.
Like no.
Oh, man.
It stops racism.
The people moving.
The person that has been racist for 1 million years. You think one course, the white lady, I don't know her name, and she's the older white lady, and a lot of her stuff goes viral. And she was a professor, Ben, you probably know who I'm talking about. And a lot of her stuff goes viral, an older white woman. And she
I can't think of her name, but I know you're talking about.
Racism and things like that, and how she'll point it out inside of a classroom and things like that. If she can't get through to her own people in a course, and she white, you think your 24-hour shutting down Starbucks is really gonna do something?
Jane Elliott.
That's what it was. Yes, and
if Jane Elliott can't explain it to y'all, you know, sure as hell we can't.
And she goes in deep, even though she still will never understand, and she knows that. But she understands that I gotta let my own folks know that it's not right. Like, you guys are gonna sit in this classroom, and I'm gonna tell you, white racists, that you're racist. And that's it. And they were all uncomfortable about it. So, you know, you can't tell an old man after 24 hours, you know, of a course not to be racist. It doesn't work like that. You really just have to not be racist. You gotta. That's that work that you got to do on yourself. You know. But that's why I'm just really. So I say all that to say, diversity and inclusion. It wasn't birthed from a place of unity. Of bringing unity, of bipartisanship. It was not. That thing was just because it made things look good for the business, and that's what we saw when we saw that tweet yesterday from the Raiders, and that's what we saw when we saw the Nancy Pelosi wear that kente cloth and her say that George Floyd's death was sacrificial. That's all the same thing. It's so much the same thing. If we can pull up that photo, Dwayne. I got the photo in total. Of all of that in one, it's a mess. It's a mess. Oh, okay, but
man,
here it is right here. Here it is. The Raiders tweet. The Raiders tweet is the representation on her hat.
This is a different picture, but yeah, this still does the job. But the one that I was talking about, it was actually her kneeling in the chambers in the Kentucky. Superimposed on it. Yeah.
Can they hear you?
Yeah, they could hear me.
Okay, yes. So it was that where she's kneeling with the kente cloth, with the Raiders hat on. It's all wrong, okay? That's exactly a representation of what I'm talking about right here. This is what diversity and inclusion looks like when I'm in... No, seriously. If I'm in the room and I'm the only black girl in the room, they're not going to send me out to be the representation of that diversity and inclusion. They're going to make me create something, send out the white person in a kente cloth, kneeling, with her fist up, and call that representation.
I can't stand y'all. Hey, Daniel Johnson said, "Hey, I'm about to press go on this GoFundMe for Brother
Don't do that.
I just want to know if it's okay to do so. I don't want to offend anyone. Fred Hampton, we fight racism with solidarity."
Oh man, they talk about a GoFundMe for you a house, Rebecca.
GoFundMe, y'all.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, what you could do though is
GoFundMe to get me out of work. Yes.
Get us out of work. Get us out of work.
Man.
Now you can become a patron though by going to patreon.com/likeItOrNot.
Like it or not.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/likeItOrNot.
There you go.
And then also we do accept tips, credit cards.
Yeah, drop them cash apps.
What they say, Rebecca.
Oh, my cash app.
Although we like the money that changed that jingles, we like the one that folds.
Hello, talk about it. Here's my cash app, people.
DJ X3C.
This will get me closer to better internet. I'm actually dropping it in the chat now, but this will get me closer to better internet and other things as well.
She putting it in the chat room, y'all.
Right now.
I'm right behind her. Look, let me see. Boom. I think I beat Rebecca to it because mine is so short.
You did. I had to remember mine.
Oh,
Becca's
man,
voice.
amazing.
$Becca's voice, right? Yeah, see?
Oh, man. Y'all are wild. Tip your DJ. Tip
the
your co-host.
DJ. Tip the co-host.
Yeah.
Become a patron.
Become a patron. And if you have Amazon, if you're listening to the broadcast or you're watching the broadcast and you
People
have
are
Amazon
so
Prime.
mad. Sorry, Ben.
Go to the other place. What happened?
They are so bad. They're like, Rebecca, no, you need to move.
Right. Somebody's talking about Becca, they're going to be sending you nasty messages.
No, yeah. You need to get out of that community. That's a damn shame. For you to be safe, you got to get out of the nice neighborhood.
Yeah, man. Michael also said, love you guys. Keep up the hard work. Bring the truth to your family here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
it.
Yeah.
Well, man, if all hearts and minds are clear.
They're clear.
They're clear. Oh, shit. That was escalated quickly.
I love you, mean it, but it's time to go. I just had an emotional roller coaster. I need a breather. Like, seriously.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Well,
even though 420 was yesterday, man, I need another 420. Today needs to be 420 part 2. Damn.
I love y'all so much. I don't think I would have been able to get through today, even if I wasn't doing the show, without being here with you guys. So, I love you guys so much. I love you, mean it. Even to the audience members, you guys really helped us out today as well. Bubba with the music, Ben always having my back. I love it. Dwayne, love you, mean it. David, look, ain't nobody getting shut out of this one. I love you, mean it.
Shout out to Max too. Shout out
to Max. One time for Max, one time for the one time. Eric, one time for the one time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mel, one time for the one time. Jada, one time for the one time.
Jada.
Rebecca,
what up, Jada?
You better call everybody out or else there's going to be some memes of you eating that chicken.
Oh,
listen,
man.
Dwayne, you see, this is what I be talking about right here. Dwayne, I was being nice to you, and now you're trying to blackmail me. Listen, the love goes out to everybody. Everybody gets the love. Yeah. You delete that chicken picture. You hear me?
Somebody got it already.
Hey, wait a minute. Before we go, pull up the picture of Rebecca jumping the drawbridge.
Let me tell you guys.
Do we have that picture still, Dwayne? If not, we can go ahead and get out of here. Oh man, because Rebecca looked serious in that Photoshop. It was amazing. It was amazing. That said, I don't have
video. The car just
with
Rebecca face.
If somebody can do like there it is, Rebecca getting to that appointment.
Soon come, God. Soon come. And then maybe I won't be. Maybe that's gonna be like a medicinal thing for me. Once it happens, I will be calm and here to do the job.
Oh Lord, my God.
All right, y'all.
I'm coming.
In both ways, is that what you're saying?
Oh Lord Jesus!
Oh God!
All right, I told you. Get all right,
play the music. This ain't the after party. Play the music. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Love y'all. Bye.
Hey, y'all. Oh man. All right, y'all, we're going to keep it short. Y'all know what day it is. It's Wednesday. Please give us free. Make sure that you go support. Go to patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Patreon.com/likeItOrNot. Become a subscriber, y'all. You'll love it. You won't want to miss out on this, y'all. And make sure that you go to our social media pages. Facebook and Instagram, Like It or Not Show. Facebook and Instagram, Like It or Not Show, y'all.
Thought I was nothing without you. You made me beg.
Goku. Shout out to you, Goku. That's exactly what Rebecca was saying. Move, chick. Get out the way. Afraid not. Anytime, we do what we can.
I'm gonna pack my bags up, walk out the door.
Oh, 7, sweetheart, I'm gonna try, sister. Gonna sit on the phone. microphone look like this all day.
You better leave me alone.
But it's okay.
I'm sick and tired of loving you. I don't know why, just know that I do. Please leave me alone. I'm gonna miss you, but I'll be gone. You know I don't wanna fight ya.
All right, y'all, the time is now 10:30 Eastern time anyway, and I have to go make it do what it do, y'all. So make sure that y'all are in the place in the morning, 8:30 a.m. Thursday, April 22nd. Gonna bring y'all that goodness, hotness again, y'all. Like it or not, with Benjamin Dixon, Rebecca Azor, and your own James Bubba Williams. I think it's still too much 420 since from yesterday. Anyway, y'all, I love y'all. Mean it. Y'all stay tuned. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Deuces.
But I made up my mind.